Morning, everybody. As you heard, I'm John Campbell, and Marietta and I are really pleased to be here this morning to talk about the power of the partnership we've been working on for a few years. So Marietta's been with NeighborWorks for 20 years, and I have to check my notes to say this properly, but she is currently leading national homeownership programs and community initiatives. During her career, she's always focused on two things. Number one, helping individuals actually accomplish that dream of home ownership, and unfortunately also learned how to deal with consumers during distressful periods of time in their home ownership. So for me, I've been at Wells Fargo for 40 years. Yes, I'm too old to be here, but I'm here. Today, I'm really lucky. After having done lots of things in the company over time, I'm now fortunate enough to lead our foundation, our community support work, our environmental sustainability work, our diversity and inclusion team, and enjoy doing all of that. In addition, I have overall responsibility for shaping our CSR platform at Wells Fargo. That platform is made up of three things. Number one, diversity and inclusion is a critical part of our platform. Second, helping create a greener economy is our number two platform. And number three, we have a number of goals to help around economic empowerment and helping communities move forward. So those are our focuses. In 2012, as the housing crisis was starting to moderate, we decided that we wanted to pivot our activities from being totally focused on keeping people in their homes to add helping get people back into homes, especially in areas that had been hardest hit by the foreclosure crisis. So, and very focused on those neighborhoods who actually had the highest foreclosure rates. So that led us to thinking about what we could do in this pivot, and that led us to Marietta and NeighborWorks, because our thought was that we wanted to, one of the things that had happened was down payment requirements had changed substantially in the industry. And so to create responsible home ownership, you need down payments. And we knew that people had the credit capacity. We knew housing in many neighborhoods were affordable, but people didn't have the down payment assistance. So we turned to NeighborWorks to assist us in that goal. So here we are, 5 years later. I'm excited to tell you that in 5 years, we have created 15,000 new homeowners because of our partnership around down payment assistance. So, Marietta, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And thanks for being our partner for all these years. NeighborWorks has been extraordinary, and this would not have been possible without you. So, and the name of the program is Neighborhood Lift. You'll hear me refer to that. And you heard it was an important pivot. So I guess, Marietta, could you talk about how you think Lift has been a path forward, especially for minority populations and residents in low and moderate income communities?
Well, I think the beauty of this program is that it's made homeownership affordable for a population that didn't think they could afford their own home in this country. And the program is made up of three basic components, but they're important. The first is obviously down payment assistance, and it's indexed to the market. So in some high-cost markets, that can be as much as $30,000. In other markets, it's $15,000, and as you know, John, in some markets, it's $7,500. The second component is it partners that homebuyer up with a local housing counseling and homebuyer education provider to help that borrower navigate the complex process of owning property and buying property in this country. And our studies show that people who go through homebuyer education and counseling through NeighborWorks are a third less likely to experience default. And coming out of the foreclosure crisis, that was really important. The third thing is that it also, if a consumer and a borrower is interested in home ownership, but they're not mortgage ready today, the local NeighborWorks organization will work with that customer over time to help them overcome their obstacles of home ownership. It's a compelling partnership, and 15,000 homeowners in 5 years to a population that is traditionally underserved by the conventional market is incredible.
Yeah, 15,000 is pretty amazing, but there's another part of the program that I'm probably even more impressed by, and so could you talk about not only the 15,000, but the longer-term economic impacts on these neighborhoods?
The impact of the program has been tremendous. It certainly has been felt in 3 different levels. At the individual, this program has helped purchase for families over $2 billion of real estate in this country. And regardless of what you think about financial institutions or the crisis, owning property in this country is still one of the best wealth accumulating and family stabilizing efforts that can be invested in. Secondly, I would say that it's been felt in the communities. The amount of investment that this has created in hard-hit communities has spurred a lot of economic stimulus. And thirdly, I think it can be felt on the nonprofit, on our local nonprofit housing organizations. Because Wells Fargo was willing to also not only invest the capital for the down payment assistance, but they also invested in capacity building at the local level. And our organizations, our NeighborWorks organizations, have been able to leverage this capital and really bring other opportunities to their door. Many of our organizations are community development financial institutions, which is a designation that U.S. Treasury gives. They've been able to use the LIFT money as match to get more money to do this kind of work in their communities. So the economic impact has really been felt on many, many levels. But tell me, John, aside from the visibility that LIFT has provided Wells Fargo, how else has Wells Fargo benefited from the partnership with NeighborWorks?
I think there are a couple of things I'd like to respond to. First of all, I think we all know that our businesses are only as successful as the communities where we get to do business. It's a virtual circle, so clearly supporting neighborhoods is consistent with the business proposition. But there's been a bigger learning, I think, at Wells Fargo. Through the program, we've learned a lot more about the challenges of being a first-time home buyer. And so that was one learning. But related to that was we learned the correlation between this home buyer counseling prior to owning a home and the success of the homeowner. It's an amazing correlation. So we designed a new product. We rolled it out last year. It's called Your First Mortgage. It was designed to be a low down payment program to help people get into homes, primarily designed for low and moderate income neighborhoods. And so we actually took the learnings from this program and actually built them into a product. That product already has produced over 40,000 mortgages and over $8 billion of home finance, and it was really driven by the learnings from this program. So as we wrap up, we've both had lots of learnings from this partnership, and so I'll start, and then if you could wrap up with what NeighborWorks has learned. For us, I think the biggest learning really has been, as we're a national player, we increasingly want to do programs that we can run in various parts of the country. And so having picked a single partner who we've worked with now over 5 years, it's kind of the scope and scale that we were looking for. We've done 57 down payment assistance programs, and I kiddingly say it's a little bit like a circus. We pack it up in New York, and we drive to Oakland, and we run Oakland, and then we drive to Atlanta. And so the scope and the fact that NeighborWorks has been able to be on the ground with us 57 times makes the program efficient and successful. So scope and scale for us in delivering an important project has been very critical learning.
Yeah, I think for the funders in the room, I think don't be afraid of partnership, even with a nonprofit. Don't be afraid to invest in capacity building, because that can lead to other opportunities. And the other thing I would say, even though the program was designed in 2012, 5 years ago, we have iterated and innovated on that product and this program to meet market conditions. So we're not afraid to pivot and to change and to test assumptions and hypotheses that we have. And both of our input is valued at the table, and I think that's a real value to our relationship and the deep commitment that we both have to communities across the country.
So Marietta, thanks to you and NeighborWorks, you've been an extraordinary partner. We're really proud of these outcomes, and thanks for letting us tell you a little bit about our partnership.
Thank you.